leukemia and lymphoma, how you can be part of the solution, how you can help find a cure. Today on the Closers platform, I'm here with Deisa Martin. She's the Senior Campaign Manager for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Thank you so much for coming. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Susan, for having me and representing for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society.
We're excited to have you here, and I am inspired by your mission. I started out this year really standing bold and strong, saying generosity was going to be one of the main things that I focused on. And right off the bat, here we are in March. Awesome. You have given me an opportunity to be generous. So I'm excited. Yes. But first, tell us about the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. What does that cover? What does that encompass?
So our organization focuses on finding a cure for blood cancers, and that includes leukemia, lymphoma, Hodgkin's disease, and myeloma, and to improve the quality of our lives and patients.
So that's what you do, and that's your mission, and that's the Society's mission.
Yeah.
And when were they established?
So we were established in 1949, so 71 years ago now.
Wow, so it's been in place for a while.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is, and I have to share one of my whys, and we'll talk a little bit, actually we're going to talk a little bit later about that when we get further on the show. So let's talk about this. So blood cancer, right? A blood cancer diagnosis happens how often?
Every 3 minutes.
Every 3 minutes.
Every 3 minutes.
And that is tragic, right?
It is very tragic.
But it's been made less tragic by the Leukemia Lymphoma Society because you all are raising money. And talk to us, to the viewers, about the two of the three areas that the Leukemia Lymphoma Society focuses on with the funds they raise.
So we focus on research, and then we also focus on patient aid, financial aid for our patients, because with cancer there's a lot of costs that come with being diagnosed with cancer, and so we have the opportunity of being able to provide patients and families with some costs that can alleviate a little bit at least.
Right. So you alleviate their expenses, and you said something about having a program where if they had not just the expense and the cost of the treatment, not just the expense and the cost of the stay, but if they have other expenses.
Right, so we have an emergency fund.
An emergency fund,
yes.
Okay.
An emergency fund, which this emergency fund is in case they deplete their money and they can't cover bills, be house bills, a light bill. So yeah, that's what we're here for.
So what people don't understand always is this diagnosis comes, oftentimes work stops, right?
Yes.
Work stops, whether you're the patient or
the caregiver.
Work stops, and you're spending extra money to pay for the patient yourself, whether that or the caregiver. So many expenses and so many dynamics go into it.
Yes.
And that's what the emergency fund is there to help cover.
Right.
That's wonderful. And let's talk about patient caregiver. What age group is leukemia and lymphoma attacking?
So a lot of children face leukemia. It's one of the top cancers for children, which is very sad. Right. But cancer in general just doesn't discriminate, no age, no race, nothing. So it impacts almost everybody in some shape, way, or form. Right.
So you all are here to help fight to help to create the cure. And the research part of it is the monies, the dollars going to help find cures, right?
Yes. So 41 of the 47 FDA approvals were funded by LLS since 2017.
Wow.
So it's in a really large amount, especially when you think about the past 3 years and such a short period of time, right?
So since 2017, we're now in 2020, the Leukemia Lymphoma Society has gone up to bat 47 times with things to get approved by the FDA with solutions, with cures, with medicines.
Right, treatments.
With treatments to be approved by the FDA, and out of 47 at-bats, they've hit 41 home runs.
Yeah.
And they've contributed to treatments to solve and cure the problem of leukemia, lymphoma, and myeloma. And I have to tell you my why, because I do have a dear friend, and I won't call out her name, that was diagnosed with myeloma. We pray for her every single day for the cure, for the treatment, for just all the things that people need when they're in that situation. So that's my why. And today we'll talk a little bit more about my why, but then my how. What? My how and my what. What am I going to do? How am I going to do it to make a difference in this area? And then we're going to challenge you, all our viewers, and we're going to help you with the how and the what you can do. But you, each one, have to find your own why. And what is your why? And we didn't talk about you talking about your why when we prepared for the show today. But do you have a why? Is it personal? Is it
I mean, I've had so many family members affected by cancer. So my grandfather actually recently passed away with leukemia. And then also just my great-grandmother had breast cancer, and the things we've invested in, the treatments that we've invested in have translated into solid tumor cancer, like breast cancer, liver cancer. And so I just think, had some of these approvals been founded when my grandmother was alive, maybe she would have had a better chance at, the
survival?
fight.
Yeah, right.
So there's,
There's the personal
everyone.
side, right? The personal side, and we'll talk a little bit more today as we move forward on the show about really some specific people that you're working hard to help today too, that aren't relatives, but they're part of the leukemia, or they've been chosen by the Leukemia Lymphoma Society to help and assist and make a difference. Which the stories, that's what's amazing, and we hope to pull on some of your heartstrings so that you'll be attached to the stories of the specific people and want to help and make a difference too.
Awesome.
So did we say yet how many cents on the dollars actually go towards the research, towards the aid, towards the advocacy? Have we talked about that?
No, not
we
yet.
haven't. So tell us.
We have not. So 80 cents on the dollar goes back to our mission, and then 20 cents on the dollar is administrative. So it's a significant amount.
Right.
And when you look at that and compare it to other organizations, you'll see that we have a great split. We have an amazing split, and we're very proud that we're able to do that for patients and families.
That's
Again,
wonderful.
It always goes back to them.
Absolutely. So back to generosity. We started out the year and we knew, and I've got to give a shout out to Laura and Brian. We knew that we were going to raise money for Lily, and we did, and we will continue to do that. Carolyn DeMarco, we get involved with their drive to raise money for the American Cancer Society. Michelle Pierce, we help her in her mission. Gina's group, we work with them to make a difference in breast cancer. So we are working in all different directions, but I decided that I would take you up on helping in this area when you approached me a couple of weeks ago. It wasn't actually you that approached me, but let's tell the viewers about what's next.
So your nomination. So yes, so a couple weeks ago you were nominated by our dear chair, Sarah Geltz. She nominated you, and we thought about, how you're just so influential, your leadership, how well rooted you are into the community, how much you care about your community, and those are the people that we want involved with this campaign. And when we approached you, we shared what the campaign is about, which is a heavy task. It's really quite the task to ask our candidates to do, but it's a 10-week fundraising campaign. But our candidates don't do it alone, right? And you've already done an excellent job at bringing on 11 team members, and anybody who wants to support her, I'm sure she'll love some more team members.
Absolutely.
So team members help candidates fundraise as well, and that's how we're able to, reach such great amounts of fundraising dollars, which impact, our community and our organization in such a great way. So
excited to be a candidate to raise money, and the fundraising starts on March 25th and ends on
June 6th. So at our gala.
At the gala, and I am competing against 18 or 19 other people.
Yes, so you are one of 9 women, and then we also have 9 men. So 18 candidates in total. This is our biggest year yet, so no pressure.
So there's a woman that wins and a man that wins. So So I'm really competing against 8 other women to see who can raise the most money.
Right.
And it's fun because I'm competitive, but really, again, my why is my friend with myeloma and just the opportunity to really stand firm in the commitment I made at the end of last year, the beginning of this year, to be generous.
Right.
So I look forward to being able to be generous. And so we have a man and woman of the year, and we win that race. And I've asked a couple people to get involved, and they all say, do we have to like actually race or run? There's no running involved in this. It's raising money is what's involved, but there's also a boy and girl of the year. Can we talk about them? And we'll put a picture up on the screen while you're talking about them.
So our boy and girl of the year for 2020 is Caleb and Caitlin. They are actually best friends. So it's really sweet. They're 12 years old, and they're both acute lymphoblastic leukemia survivors, also known as ALL. And look how cute they are. So they actually went to the Billie Eilish concert, I think it was Tuesday.
Okay.
And that was actually a donation from our committee to give them a great experience. But Caleb's actually a 2-time survivor.
Wow.
And it was thanks to the research that was funded by LLS that he survived the second time.
Oh my gosh.
And you'll get to hear his story at the kickoff and at grand finale. Anybody who attends will get the chance to hear their story. But yeah, they are best friends. They met through chemo.
So they didn't know each other before either one of them were diagnosed?
No, they did not. They became best friends throughout chemo, which is amazing, but also very sad that that was the situation that, you know, they were put in.
But I do think oftentimes survivors have so many blessings that they're able to recount in the journey.
Yeah.
And one of our friends recently was diagnosed with cancer, and we talk about counting the miracles every day. Like opening your eyes to see the miracles that can happen right in the midst of tragedy. So that is amazing too. The fact that they met each other, that they'd been best friends, that his second diagnosis, she was able to support him during that time, and then they got to go to this concert. Now, how did the concert happen? Did that happen through the Leukemia Lymphoma Society?
So one of our committee members, I called him up and I was like, hey, they're huge fans of Billie Eilish and this concert is sold out. Is there any way you can get us tickets for them to go? Because I feel like they would love that, and it would mean so much to them. And so they were able to pull through the week right before the concert. They went. They were super excited to have like 1 million pictures of them at the concert. And then his mom put together that picture of them when they were
so amazing
going through cancer, and then now what they're at now.
I am so looking forward to meeting them, and so looking forward to adding them to my why for doing this. So again, a recap, we are with Deisa Martin. Deisa is the senior campaign manager for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. We are here to kick off the campaign that starts on March 25th and it runs through June 6th.
Yeah.
And the society takes 80 cents of every dollar they earn and they pour it into research, patient aid, and advocacy. And we are here to make a difference. And I am so excited and so inspired and so ready. So your call to action is to give, to raise your hand and give and reach out. And on the screen, you'll see both of our information. So reach out to either one of us and we will help you make a difference in this tragic issue of different types of cancer.
Yeah, awesome.
Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, Susan. This was great.
Good.
This was really good. Thank you.
Easier than I thought.